On today's Chiefs news and rumors roundup, we got three big topics to explore. Number one, Jonathan Taylor. Why or why not does it make sense to trade for him if you are Kansas City? Number two, Chris Jones. He tweets again. Is he threatening to miss regular season games at this point? And we have a practice roundup as well, some news and notes from today's practice in Kansas City. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll get to all of that. But first, today's show is presented by Roan. Upgrade your wardrobe with some summer polos, some dress clothes, everything else you need with Roan by using code ChatSports at roan.com/chatsports. That's going to get you 20% off. Let's kick things off here. Jonathan Taylor, could he get traded to the Chiefs? Well, reports coming out yesterday and further into today that the Colts have granted Taylor permission to seek a trade away from the team as obviously friction continues there in Indianapolis. Stephen Holder now reports that in terms of what the Colts would like in return for a trade, they're seeking a first-round pick or a package of picks that equates to as much and a potential Jonathan Taylor trade. Yeah, good luck, Indy. Seriously, I like Jonathan Taylor, but he's kind of middle of the road as a pass catcher. He's coming off an injury-riddled season. I'm not giving him something that adds up to a first-round pick when Saquon Barkley couldn't even get an extension, when Josh Jacobs couldn't get an extension. Why would I trade elite capital and then give Taylor an extension? That seems a bit ridiculous. Something's got to give. So I don't think Indy will get that. I don't think they expect to get that. They can say that if they want, but it's not going to happen. Would you trade a first-round pick for Jonathan Taylor? Type Y for yes or type in for no. If you would, I got to question your football acumen because in today's NFL, that just doesn't make sense. And I like Taylor a lot, maybe a second, but a first, no way. Why the Chiefs should pass? Well, I've already said he's simply not worth the first-round pick. He's not. He's not worth the first-round pick because guess what? He's entering the final year of his rookie deal. If you give a first-round pick, you have to commit to paying him. So you're going to trade a first or multiple picks that add up to a first and give him, $12, $15 million per year on an extension. It's just, there's no way that I would do that. And look, maybe if he did what he did in 2021 again last year, if he had back-to-back 1,600-plus yard seasons, maybe I would consider it. But considering after that huge year, which we see this a lot with running backs, they have this huge year, then the next year they can't stay healthy, that is pause for, if you ask me, major hesitation here. Love the player, but don't love that idea. Number two, the Chiefs simply don't have the cap space right now to even absorb his current contract, which isn't much on a rookie deal, much less commit to him long term. Sure, you could structure it and figure that out. And again, if you extend Chris Jones, you free up some cap space. So yes, in theory, you could make it work, but the Chiefs are dead last in cap space right now. Dead last. It's basically zero. So just to trade for him, you would have to free up $2.5-3 million. So that's number one. And then committing a big contract to him when you have Mahomes, hopefully Chris Jones long term, and Kelsey, it's not something that is financially logical for this football team. Okay, before we get to my third and final point, and then continue the show with some other stories, including the latest on Chris Jones, get going with Roan. The commuter collection from Roan has reinvented the male's closet with their comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products. They help you get ready for any occasion, which offers the most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos like I'm rocking today. Never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan commuter collection. It's time to feel confident without the hassle. With Roan's wrinkle-free, wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. They got that 4-way stretch fabric, which feels awesome in this heat, especially you need to have breathable clothing, and that is what Roan has. Another benefit of Roan, with their Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And oh, by the way, Roan is machine washable. Cut back on your spending each month with your dry cleaning bill that adds up. You don't have to anymore. You can throw these clothes in the washing machine, air dry them. You are good to go. Use promo code ChatSports at roan.com/chatsports. That's RHONE.com/chatsports. Roan, upgrade your wardrobe today. Link and promo code in the description and comments of this video. Okay, third reason why the Chiefs pass. The current running back room is solid, man. You don't have a Jonathan Taylor, but Isiah Pacheco's solid. By the way, he's back. We're going to talk about him here in a little bit as well. Jarrett McKinnon's a great third down running back. And look, I don't love Clyde Edwards-Helaire, but if he's your third, that's fine. It's nothing to be super excited about. But I think you're sitting good with your 1-2 punch there in Pacheco and McKinnon. Certainly would rather have that than trade a first plus pay Jonathan Taylor big money. Don't miss a thing if the Chiefs do make a trade or sign somebody or do whatever. We'll make a video. Jace Andrews, as most of you know, is taking over for me here on the Chiefs Report. He'll be back tomorrow. Not sure if he'll have a video tomorrow or if it will be me, so stay tuned. He's been moving his stuff here, and we're still transitioning him into this role. But regardless if it's me, Jace, whoever, we got you covered. So subscribe, turn on those notifications. We will make a video when things happen on the Chiefs Report. Okay, today in Jones tweets. It's kind of a segment, right? Like Chris Jones tweets today. Well, it started out with just one thing, and then it kind of turned into a little bit more as the cryptic messages seem to continue. He tweeted out a photo of this. If it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind also, which this seems like some deep philosophical shit that I don't even want to try to explore. Like, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just kind of lost at this point. Like, the tweets aren't accomplishing anything. Like, obviously, he can do what he wants, but clearly the two sides are not in a place where good things are happening. I think that feels pretty safe at this time. Now, here's where things get interesting. Sean Berkey, just random person on Twitter, tweeted at Chris Jones, "So, when you going to show up? Because you'd be playing too much on Twitter, social media. You've been an all-pro on social media during camp. You're under contract for this year, correct? For how much money? Man, I bet it's rough to live on $20 million in a year." He replied, week 8, basically saying, yeah, if I don't get a new deal, I'm skipping the first 7 weeks. Arrowhead Live, a Chiefs kind of blogger guy, said that'd be a hefty tab because Chris Jones is getting fined for every day he misses. I think it's $50,000 a day or something like that. Guess what Chris Jones said? I can afford it. I know it's social media. I know talk is cheap, this and that. Does that sound like a guy who's going to play week 1 without a new deal? Because it doesn't to me. He's pissed off that they cut Frank Clark and let him go to the Broncos. He's even more pissed off that he hasn't gotten his money. I understand the frustration. This was the best interior defensive lineman in football last year. Now, if the reports are true that he wants to become the highest paid defensive tackle in football, then I also understand the Chiefs side of it. But isn't a fair compromise to make him the second highest paid dude at like $27, $28 million per year? Like, would that be unfair to anybody? Like, yes, I thought he had a better year than Aaron Donald last year, but Aaron Donald's contract is an outlier, and he's an outlier of a player. He's been an all-pro for almost a decade. Chris Jones has had a couple of all-pro seasons and then really, really good seasons. He's not, I think both could go to the Hall of Fame. Aaron Donald's a surefire first ballot guy. Chris Jones isn't there yet. Like, he's just not. So make him the second highest paid guy, and let's go. Like, that feels like a good compromise to me. Now, as far as the season goes, since we're 16 days away, even if he signed today, would he be ready week 1? Well, Steve Spagnuolo said he wouldn't expect Chris Jones to play every down until he gets into, quote, football shape. Gave the fingers crossed and said, quote, hopefully we'll get him back, and when that happens, we'll figure out how to go about it. We're 16 days away. Remember, the Chiefs play on Thursday Night Football to start the year. So 2 weeks from Thursday, it's go time. So let's just say the Chiefs get it done this Thursday, right? Like 2 weeks. Chris Jones probably not full throttle for week 1. Now, that's probably enough time where he'll start and he'll play a lot of snaps. But to get that wind underneath you, man, it takes a little while. Even if he has been working out, it's not the same thing as going through camp and, taking a couple of hits, getting in some collisions and doing all of that. So we're officially in the danger zone. I think it's safe to say that, which is disappointing because I didn't see it going this way. But this happens sometimes when these players and teams negotiate contracts. How does this end? What do you guys think? Does he skip week 1? Does he get a new deal? Does he not get a new deal but does play week 1? Does he sit out till week 8 like he says he's willing to? What say you? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, rapid fire, Chiefs practice notes time. Isiah Pacheco returned to practice on Monday, was back out there on Tuesday, said after practice today when talking to reporters he is open to playing in the preseason finale against the Browns, which that'd be very exciting, right? Because the goal was just for him to be ready for week 1, and he plays this week. That means 2 weeks earlier than expected. So he's good to go, I'd give him a couple carries. Just let him take a couple hits and get that under his belt. So that's a positive development. Tershawn Wharton returns to practice. He's right on that roster bubble, coming off the torn ACL. Then he nicked up the knee again, but luckily he's back. So hopefully he makes a strong final push here before a week from now when rosters get cut down to 53. Michael Danna says he's officially 100%. Was dealing with the calf strain earlier in camp, but he's full throttle. He's back and ready to go. And good time, too, with Charles Omenihu set to be suspended the first 6 weeks. George Karlaftis did not practice today. He is dealing with some sort of an illness. And then Danny Shelton's motivated. He talked after practice today about being on the practice squad last year and saying being on the side and having to watch, that motivated me. He said he really worked hard on his fitness and his body this offseason. And look, we saw him have a sack in the first preseason game. I think he's had a pretty good camp. I do think he'll make the 53. Part of that's due to the defensive tackle position being thin, but I do think that motivation factor is real. We've seen him play well in this league in the past, so hopefully he's able to have a factor this year. All right, guys, that's it. Subscribe to the Chiefs Report. We will continue to keep you guys in the loop with the latest Chiefs news and rumors. Chris Jones Watch continues. We'll have you guys covered.